What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Jets 49er preview, week 4. All right, so we're coming off a win, but the biggest news, maybe in football, other than the ref situation, which we're not going to get into at all.
Can't do that.
No. But the biggest news in football, injury-wise, is Darrelle Revis is out for the season. Now, today, he went for a second opinion, but...
He's out for the year. I mean, that's... whatever. Every team does that, but he's out for the year. It's a devastating... I mean, that's huge. I mean, Rex Ryan caters his defense to Darrelle Revis. He basically takes the number one receiver, and then everybody else covers whoever they can. It's huge, man. It's like every other fan, I was like, season's over, all is lost, and this is, it's a brutal loss, though, for them.
Well, can the Jets win without Revis?
Absolutely. I mean, it's next man up. I mean, I understand, I always, like everybody else, the season's over, and, I thought the same thing, but, they have other talented players, and Rex Ryan is admittedly a defensive genius. He told us all himself. So, I mean, you got to change your scheme a little bit, and people got to raise their game up. Next man up. Cromartie, Kyle Wilson, Alex Langster. I mean, you have a bunch of guys. You got to play better. I mean, one of the biggest problems was when Revis was playing, they still weren't playing well as a unit. The defense was still awful. So they can win without him. It's not going to be easy. Probably more pressure on the offense, but it's not impossible.
Kyle Wilson?
He's got big shoes to fill. I mean, they both do. I mean, everybody's going to pick on Kyle Wilson, but Cromartie is going to be on the spotlight too, because now you're going to have Cromartie on whoever. Andre Johnson, Randy Moss.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, he's going to have his hands full, and he's got to play more physical.
Wilson Island doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, or Ellis Island, Ellis Langster. Yeah. But, I mean, it's going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of people, and the big news today was that Joe McKnight, the running back, is going to be playing cornerback. Now, I have
Are you serious?
I'm serious. So he's been practicing there in the past, which is fine. But at some point, the Jets, don't they want to actually draft players that play positions of need? I mean, you have, I think it was Josh Bush, Antonio Allen. You draft all these guys. Why can't they actually play the position? I mean, you take a McKnight who could be an asset on offense. Explosive because Sean Green's not explosive. Bilal Powell's not explosive. You're taking a very explosive running back and now putting him on defense. So it makes no sense to me. I mean, he's a great athlete, and supposedly he had 3 interceptions today in practice, which is wonderful. But I mean, it's just get players that play the position. I mean, this is just getting absolutely friggin' ridiculous now. It's like, oh, now McKnight's playing here, Kamari's gonna play receiver. How about Mike Tannenbaum brings talent to the team instead of jerking all these things around? It's.
One of the big moves I saw this week was, as soon as Revis is out, you put him on IR, right?
Right.
Ryan Grant got signed by the Redskins this week. He would have been such a nice fit.
I think give McKnight more carries. I mean, we'll talk about the offense in a little while.
Right.
But I mean, McKnight is a very explosive player. Throw him a little screen pass. Get him in bubble screens. Anything to get him involved. But now you're taking him off offense and putting him on defense. It's like, how about this? How about you look for a guy that can play corner like a free agent, Chris Carr? They're, I guess, bringing him in or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, I just don't. I mean, I could be completely wrong. He may be a great corner. But if I'm Joe McKnight, I'm like, I'm here to be a running back. I haven't even got a legitimate chance to play running back while Sean Green and Bilal Powell are falling over themselves. It's just, I see what they're doing. But the moral of the story is the Jets players, secondary, all the young guys have got to step it up. Langster, Trufant, and whoever else they bring in there, you got to play better and then see what happens.
All right, well, let's start on the offense.
Oh,
the offense struggled this week.
that was brutal.
How much of it do you blame on Sanchez?
Wow, it's a good question because he's got to take some blame this week. He was terrible last week. I mean, they were all terrible. The offensive line, he took some big hits, and I think now you're going to start saying is if you start hitting Sanchez, he's going to start getting very erratic. I mean, he's getting happy feet. He looked uncomfortable in the pocket. He missed some wide open receivers. Then they dropped some passes, which never helps. And then another thing is missing Dustin Keller is huge. Dustin Keller is a huge part of the offense. Without him, it hurts. I mean, Clyde Gates, that one receiver, he ran that route was horrific, dude. So, but Sanchez, he's got to play better than this. Everybody keeps saying, I've been saying this for 2 years now, but you expect more out of him. I mean, he's way too erratic. When he gets hit early in the game, he starts throwing the ball all over the place. But with that being said, when the game was on the line overtime, he made a beautiful pass. So,
well, the drop passes are getting frustrating.
Yeah, Stephen Hill is he's just invisible, and he's dropping. I mean, they're hitting him in his hands, and he's dropping them. He's hurt this week, which, whatever.
Right.
But, you're only as good as the weapons around you. I mean, say Tony Holmes exploded, which is great, but he has no supporting cast. I mean, Crowley looked awesome, but, But I'm saying it now as a Sanchez guy. Last week he was terrible. If he keeps playing like that, he's gonna A, be benched, and B, they're gonna lose a lot of games. So, for whatever what it's worth.
Well, if you remember, at the beginning of our blog series, you made a bold prediction. I asked you if the Jets will have a top 10 defense.
I better drink for this one, right?
Yeah, you said top 3. What happened?
I drank the Rex Ryan Kool-Aid. It wasn't this. It was Rex Ryan's Kool-Aid. They've been terrible. They can't stop the run. They can't hit the quarterback. I mean, Ryan Tannehill wasn't even touched. It's been awful. They can't tackle. They can't cover. I mean, we heard Quentin Copel's your number 1 pick. Can't get on the field. He played like 10 snaps. I mean, Muhammad Wilkerson's doing nothing. Aaron Mabin, your big pass rusher. Calvin Pace, 0. And then your linebackers aren't tackling. Bart Scott, even Landry's missing tackles. I mean, they're just playing sloppy. They're playing undisciplined. And if you can't sack Ryan Tannehill, I mean, seriously, and you're going to start facing Matt Schaub and Tom Brady, you're going to get your asses kicked. So as a unit, they're underachieving. And now without Revis, I mean, they've got to just, as a group, collectively get their stuff together and play better and play more physical, play smarter, and play more aggressive. But dude, the tackling has been horrific. Like last week was an absolute nightmare on both sides of the ball.
Let's talk about that.
It was terrible.
You're going to play, I'd call it a developing offense. They're not a juggernaut offense. I mean, they lost to the Vikings, but the Niners are coming in with a very efficient offense.
But by the way, what you just said is the most important thing. They're coming off a loss, which could probably be the worst thing that could ever happen for the Jets. The 49ers are probably a top 3 team in the NFL. And so you know what's a road trip for them, but coming off a loss, they're going to be pissed off like you do not believe coming into MetLife.
Yeah, they have legit
They're
Super Bowl
physical,
aspirations.
man. They are physical.
That defense is. To me, the offense is still up and coming.
I don't agree with that. I see what you're saying, but you figure Alex Smith doesn't turn the ball over.
That's right.
Frank Gore will run you over. And if you decide to try to stop the run, if you can, which we can, Vernon Davis, Randy Moss, Manningham, and Crabtree.
Not bad.
I mean, so you could say they're very efficient, but they can beat you both ways. But Alex Smith does not turn the ball over, which 3 years ago you couldn't say that, but that's Harbaugh.
Well, let's talk about attacking that offense. What are some keys?
Stop the run. I mean, you got to try. I mean,
Mr. Gore.
You got to stop Gore. I mean, you have to try at least and put pressure on Smith. But if you can't stop the run and they have play action pass, the Jets will get blown out of this game. It won't even be close. Because you figure if you can't stop the run, play action pass, you have Vernon Davis. The Jets can't cover tight ends for whatever reason. And then you have the receivers. They're going to go 3 wide on us and with no Revis. So the first thing is stop the run. And then once you do that, try to get pressure on Alex Smith.
All right, well, let's talk about the 49ers' strength. Their defense. That linebacking core is outstanding.
Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis.
Those safeties are hard-hitting.
Yeah, Justin Smith.
And they're edge rushers. So other than that, looks like we're doing okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, man. But this is the kind of game where the Jets have got to man up. I mean, Rex Ryan talked about ground the pound, be physical. If you don't step your game up and get physical with them and smack them in the mouth, you're going to get your ass kicked. Period. I mean, they're coming in pissed off, and they're a very physical defense to begin with. So you've got to go, man on man with them. You got to muscle up and start smacking them around and get after them. And if you don't, if Sanchez starts getting teed off on, this game will be over in the first half. It won't even be close.
Well, those edge rushers are so fast, and Patrick Willis can close.
Yep.
So I'm curious to see how the Wildcats going to work.
And you know what? And I've hated the Wildcats since the whole Tim Tebow shenanigans has been here. This is the first game where I could see them going to the Wildcat a lot. And they may have to because I think they're going to stuff the run. Sanchez is going to start getting jittery and skittish in the backfield, and you have to bring Tebow in. I just think it's going to be one of these kind of games where it's going to be like we need to offset the pass rush, try to keep them off balance a little bit. And this is the game. This is actually a game that I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Tebow, to be completely honest with you.
All right, well, let's talk about predictions.
Oh, man. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because it's a rough week. They lost Revis. It's a very physical team. Man, I don't know. If the next 2 games for the Jets are tough. The Texans and the 49ers. If they were to win one of these next 2 games, I think it's going to be this one.
Right.
Because the Texans' offense is so high-powered, and this one is not as high-powered. But I don't see it, man. I think the Jets are in trouble in this one. I think it's going to be probably like 23-10 49ers, maybe. I think their physical nature, all their strengths are our weaknesses. You know, their running game, their physical defense, that kind of goes against what we do. But if Rex Ryan's going to rally the troops, this is the time to do it. But I don't see it, man, to be honest with you.
My X factor for this game is maybe the rookie Copels. If he can get to Alex Smith.
Can he play? Can he get on the field?
Well, let's touch on that. I saw Maben walk off the field a little injured last week. Is he going to play?
Supposedly he's playing. I mean, but everybody, I mean, as a team, they're all underachieving. And this goes, in like, it's like the offensive line. You have Brandon Moore, Mangold, DeBrickashaw. Everybody as a leader, as a veteran, they've all got to step it up. There's no more excuses, no more this. You know, Rex Ryan's talking about whatever he wants. Shut up, and everybody's got to play better. Because you have 49ers, Texans, Colts, and Patriots. They can very easily lose 3 or 4. I mean, if you're being realistic about things. So if you don't tighten up your group and play better, you're not going to win games.
That's right.
And then it's just like, then once you see that, you're going to start seeing all the lack of talent they have on the team, which is a whole different story.
There's nothing quicker than NFL
If Stephen Hill doesn't play this week, you have Curley, you have Santonio, and then you have Patrick Turner, who was cut and just brought back on the team, and Clyde Gates, who came and run a regular route. So
it's going to be a big game. If they can pull this out, it says a lot for the team.
It's huge. It show a lot of character. It would quiet all the critics. I mean, everybody in Jets Nation right now is kind of like skeptical of like this is going to be, we're going to lose 2 in a row. Show up, prove us all wrong. This is the time Rex Ryan can actually prove us wrong, and they can prove us wrong. Bart Scott, all right, you've talked your talk, and you're not doing anything. Prove everybody wrong that you guys aren't going to quit, you aren't going to be soft, and you can play physical football. Do it.
Right.
I mean, that's it. What else can you say?
It's game week.
That's it. Let's go Jets.
Thank you for watching our Jets vs. 49ers preview. Check us out at jetcenter.com. You can follow me on Twitter, TRauch21. We'll be at the L7 tailgate this weekend at MetLife. And also go to deadseriousfightgear.net. Hopefully Jets pull this one out. We'll see. That's Alf. I'm Tyson. Talk to you guys later.